Liana nods and brings us back to the past. I'm about to say back to the past. Brings us back onto the path. Then she walks into the direction of the village. The Pongo follows us, staying a step behind. We travel for quite some time together. It's been pretty silent. I wonder if I should say something. Ask her about the Pongo, ask her what brought her here, ask her about her gauntlet. I don't have anything pressing to say. I want to know what brought her here. So, not that I'm complaining, but what exactly are you doing out here in the field?
Field?
The field? Where you found me?
Oh, there have been rumors of high energy readings around Meadow Hill, so I was sent to investigate.
Okay.
I had already checked out the surrounding area, and there'd been no clear source for all that excess energy until today.
When you met me. She nods. I hadn't been in that field for very long before you found me, though.
You might be a byproduct of whatever created the energy spike in the first place.
Who do you think that was?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen readings of that level before. The Mage Academy should be able to help explain.
I wonder what it takes to become a mage. So, besides magic, what else does this Mage Academy teach?
Oh, all the basics. How to use a manipulator, how to control your energy, the many usages and differences between crystals and spheres.
Am I going to have to learn all of this later on? Or is it just still the whole, like, talking to people and making choices thing? Crystals and spheres? What exactly is this crystal stuff you keep mentioning?
You mean the difference between crystals and crystal spheres? Well, when we refer to crystals, we mean the raw crystals, whereas crystal spheres are the usable refined state.
That's helpful, but I mean crystals in general. She stares at me and narrows her eyes as if trying to judge if I'm serious.
It's the power source for, well, everything.
Okay, I'm gonna go off Ruby logic here and just say it's dust. Basically, all these crystals are just dust. I look blankly at her.
You don't use crystals where you come from?
No. Her mouth falls open as she looks at me in bewilderment.
With no crystals. What else do you use to power things?
Lots of stuff. I count off on my fingers. The sun, water, wind, nuclear fusion, fossil fuels like coal or oil. Her eyes widen with each item I list. She's about to speak, but I'm not finished. Geothermal, waves, tidal, hydrogen.
Okay.
She shakes her head incredulously.
I get it. You have your own methods of energy. Many methods.
Okay, this is actually kind of fun. I know I've been saying that for the past few minutes, and I literally just started it, but it's this. I didn't expect something like this to be like very engaging. I didn't expect it to be so engaging. Okay, I didn't expect this. Leanna's eyes sparkle as she falls into a pensive silence. A small smile plays at her lips while she considers what I've said. I might have overwhelmed her a little, but she actually seems interested in all of the methods for harnessing energy. Okay. How about the let's get the Pongo out of the way. I glance behind us again. Just as expected, the Pongo hops along. So that Pongo is still following us. Leanna glances back and grins.
That's not too surprising.
Why not?
Pongos are attracted to magical energy. That's why it was so strange that it showed no interest in my manipulator.
It's still following us, though. Oh, please.
It's following you.
Oh, I thought my thing froze for a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. No. It's following you.
My readings showed you're full of magical energy. As far as the Pongo is concerned, you're a buffet.
Huh? As I think over what Leanna said, I look at the Pongo one more time. This time he looks right at me and his eyes crinkle as he splits into a huge grin. He leads onto the air and reaches the height of my waist. Whoa! He jumps high again. Leanna giggles.
I think he's tired of hopping.
Fine, I'll carry you. I guess it's kind of hard to keep up when you're so much smaller than us. I hold up my hands and Pongo hops right onto my palm, but he doesn't stop there. Before I can reach, he hops onto my shoulder and jumps and lands right on top of my head. Honestly, I expected that. I feel a cool wiggle in my hair. Leanna giggles again. What's he doing?
Nothing. He's just so happy.
She reaches out her finger and strokes to stroke the Pongo. He chirps contently. Leanna's smile broadens. She then clears her throat as she tries to take one more serious expression. Her steps quicken as she resumes walking. Okay, time for the gauntlet. Without seeming too suspicious, I try to get a better look at the gauntlet. What was that thing she was trying to do with it earlier? Leanna notices me staring and shifts uncomfortably.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I was just curious about your gauntlet.
My manipulator?
Sure.
All mages have a manipulator. It's how we use energy to interact with the elements around us.
Wait, you mean you can cast spells?
I suppose that's one way to phrase it.
Whoa, can you show me something cool?
Like what?
Do I get to choose? Oh, anything. I don't know, do anything. Leanna pauses while she thinks. Her face then brightens. She lifts up her gauntlet and points towards the Pongo. He levitates in the air, so much to the Pongo's surprise. As he hovers in the air, he looks in awe around him and opens his mouth, trying to eat the air. Leanna giggles and gently places him back down. That was so cool! Oh, that was amazing! Leanna smiles shyly as she brushes off a stray lock of her hair behind her ear.
It was nothing.
What else can you do?
There's a lot more my manipulator can do, but I think it's best if I conserve the energy for now.
I nod. That makes sense. I listen to the sounds of the wildlife as we continue walking. I can hear the usual song of birds and the faint whoosh of wings flapping in the air. Occasionally, there's a rustle amidst the trees, and oh my gosh, and I even swat at the bugs buzzing around my left eye. It all feels very familiar, reminding me of home. Leanna clears her throat.
So, you're from USA?
Oh my gosh. USA, but yeah.
Which kingdom is that in?
How should I phrase this? In the Kingdom of North America. Okay. In the Kingdom of North America. She frowns and scratches the back of her neck.
I'm a little ashamed to say I'm not familiar with that place.
On Earth?
Earth?
Okay, time to take a different approach. Let me see if I can explain. Alright, tell me where we are right now.
In Meadow Hill.
And where's that?
In the Kingdom of Havengard.
And where is Havengard?
In the land of Asaria.
And what is that part of?
Terra, of course.
Okay, so Terra is my Earth. She pauses as my words sink in. Then she gasps.
Wait, are you not from Terra?
There you go. There we go. She gets it now. From what I've heard so far, I'm not. She looks concerned.
How did you get here?
That's what I'm hoping this Mage Academy can tell me.
Right, but I mean, how did you come to Meadow Hill specifically?
I'm over here
Do
drinking
you
my bag.
remember
I got
anything
water
before
over
you
here.
were in the field?
I think back. I was studying in a library, and I've been extra tired because that's the same day I've had my evening classes. And I still remember everything about me and my past. Yeah.
Well, at least we know you don't have amnesia.
I nod. She lapses back into silence, looking thoughtful. I have a lot to think about myself. My head is swimming with everything I've learned so far. Although there are some similarities between Terra and Earth, I've only scratched the surface on all the differences. I really hope this Mage Academy can explain what's going on, and more importantly, how I can get back home. Honestly, would you want to go back home? The Pongo flips in front of my eyes, and I carefully scoop him back into place on my head. Whoa, what happened there? Did you slip?
Poi poi.
Is it my imagination, or did that poi poi sound a little sheepish? Liana looks over and grins.
You were trying to get a good look at our friend here, weren't you?
I feel movement on the top of my head as I assume the Pongo nods.
Looks like someone got a little adventurous and lost his footing.
Poi.
Poi. This is adorable. This is actually adorable. Alright, there we go. Sorry about that. I let out a chuckle as Liana giggles. Once the Pongo was secure, we continue walking. Okay. The sun dips in the sky and bathes the tips of the trees in a soft glow. My feet ache in protest with each step I take, and my legs are tight from all the walking. Finally, we come upon the perimeter of the village. I'm sorry, guys. I can't read today. Liana grins as she leads me through the gates.
Here we are, Meadow Hill Village.
I take time to catch my breath and discreetly resting my burning muscles. Liana hardly seems affected by the long trek. Probably because she's a trained warrior or something. How is this close? We're finally here. I think both are appropriate. I pull my arms into a stretch. Phew, that was quite the journey. Liana masks a chuckle.
A journey?
I nod. This time she couldn't quite hold back the laugh.
Let's continue. We can rest at the inn tonight.
As she resumes walking, I ignore my screaming legs and follow her. This village is still bustling with people, even at this time of day. I suppose they're getting in their last errands before nightfall. For the most part, everyone seems to focus on their own tasks. They barely glance at Liana, but with their gazes are drawn onto me, they don't look away. In fact, their steps slow when they crane their necks as we pass. Now I know how an animal feels at the zoo. Liana overhears my muttering and watches the people around us.
It's your clothes. They're very peculiar.
What I'm wearing is normal where I'm from. Even though the stares are directed at me, Liana seems equally uncomfortable. What am I wearing exactly? Am I wearing like a normal school uniform or something like that, or am I just wearing like normal? Well, I don't think I'd be wearing a school uniform if I'm from New York, unless it's a private school or something like that. But still.
Okay, new plan. Let's stop by the shops before they close. We don't need to draw attention to ourselves.
I instantly pat my back pocket while I keep my wallet. I doubt they'll accept card here or dollars. I don't have any money.
That's okay. I'll take care of it.
Don't make a big deal out of it. That's really generous of you. Thank you, I really appreciate it.
It's understandable given your circumstances.
I pay you back once I can. Liana smiles and nods. Liana changes directions and leads me towards the adjacent street. There are rows of quaint shops lining both sides of the road. I read the signs as we walk by. Edward's apothecary? Apothecary? I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm illiterate. I'm very illiterate. Yeah, I write for a living. Blackstone Forge, Dragon Scale Armory. Huh?
What is it?
I was just thinking how convenient it is that everything is in English here.
English?
Oh dear. I should have expected the question based on how our previous conversations have gone, but I'm still a little taken aback. It's what we're speaking right now.
We're speaking common.
What? Yana pauses in front of a shop and peers inside. Satisfied, she motions for me to follow.
Never mind. Come on in. We're here.
We're speaking common. What does that mean? I step into the shop and the first thing I notice is the overpowering musty smell of leather. I'm not surprised considering the walls are lined with different types of leatherware. Ooh, Ooh, okay, this is actually kind of cool. A small elderly man emerges from the back. A pair of round glasses sits on his nose, and an apron hangs around his neck.
Welcome. Please, take a look around.
Thank you, Mr. Merchant Guy. His smile falters as he notices me. Leanna clears her throat.
We're looking for a new wardrobe for my friend here.
Yes, of course.
The shot cleaver blinks back to reality and resumes his pitch.
Well, you've come to the right place. We tan our hides and stitch the pieces ourselves. You won't find any finer quality than here.
This guy's a con man. I can hear it in his voice. This man is a con man. Leanna smiles politely and strolls towards the selections. I check out two seemingly identical leather vests, both in which are marked at different prices. I really can't see a difference between the two. Maybe they boost different stats. Hey Leanna, she turns around. Which one of these will increase my... Okay. He really... Okay. I highly doubt this is something that happens in the game, but why? Defense, strength, dexterity, intelligence, focus. Honestly, defense is better. Honestly, the best defense is a good offense. The best offense is a good defense. Sorry. Defense.
I suppose technically any of these could. They'll all give at least a minimal amount of protection in battle.
I mean my armor rating. So none of these raise stats. Leanna gives me a weird
Do
look.
your clothes where you come from raise stats?
He really thought this was a video game! Only if you're considering cool points as a stat. She looks at me just as confused as before. Never mind. She smiles as we continue purchasing. One by one, Leanna and I pick out the new outfit. Can I see the outfit, please? Once all the pieces have been chosen, prices, oh my gosh, she goes to haggle with the shopkeep. I tune out their discussion and watch the people passing by. Their clothing is simple in design, meant for much more functional than aesthetic. To my surprise, everyone walks around armed. The village doesn't seem dangerous, but looks can be deceiving.
Why don't you get changed now? There's a space in the back to give you some privacy.
I nod and take the clothes from her. Once I've ensured privacy, I'll quickly get changed. Luckily, these clothes have pockets. I can't just transfer everything over. He really thinks this is a video game. Well, still. I palm my wallet, deck of cards, and loose change next to my phone. I try to turn it on just to see if it would work, but it doesn't react. The battery must be dead. I get the feeling they don't have wall chargers here. Shrugging it off, I slip my phone into my pocket too. Honestly, if you can just find someone with electricity spell, full charge. When I emerge, Leanna gives me a look over. How do I look? She grins and nods in satisfaction.
Look at you,
Wow.
just like a native. This look suits you.
I match her grin. Thanks.
Let's go find the inn now.
She heads out of the shop and I follow. Actually, maybe we can stop by the armory? She pauses and looks curiously at me.
Armory? You want to get a weapon?
Why not? The goal is to blend in, right? It's weird that a person wearing leather armor is traveling unarmed. I look like a hostage or something.
You do have a point. Plus, it could come in handy.
Why do I not like the sound of that?
Do you know how to use a weapon?
Again, although her voice holds no hostility, I can sense her caution. I practice kendo competitively. Stop giving her real-world stuff, buddy. She's not gonna understand. It's a type of sword fighting where I come from.
I see.
Yana falls silent as she gazes out into the street. After an extended pause, she nods. We head to the forge, where rows of blades ranging from long swords to short daggers hang from the wall. They even got guns here! Nice! All of the blades look fairly plain, but the steel edges glint dangerously amidst the warm glow of the forge. Unlike the previous shopkeeper, the metalsmith ignores us as he pounds out a red-hot blade. Sparks jump from the clanging metal, reminding me of fireflies. Liana lets me browse for the swords as I reach for one that catches my eye. As I gently remove it from the shaft, I miscalculate the weight. Of course you did. Of course you did. The seal scratches the ground with a sharp screech. Metalsmith pauses his work to glow her a warning. Liana looks on in shock.
Careful!
Sorry. I quickly right the sword back up and grip it tightly. Liana now watches me with intrigue.
Is this the first time you've held a sword?
I lift, bro. Just a minor miscalculation. I got it. Practice once only. Nothing beyond wooden swords. I take a practice swing and fumble the sword. Luckily, I tighten my grip and get it under control. Liana looks uneasy. I look uneasy too. I swing the sword again, and the movement flows naturally. As the sword cuts through the air with a sharp twing, I can't help but admire how smoothly it slices. This is high-quality craftsmanship. Let's go with this one. As before, Liana discusses with the shopkeeper. When she returns, I strap the sword onto my belt. We make one more stop to gather supplies for our travel. By the time we're finished, the sun is set and darkness blankets the sky. The town is aglow with soft lights glint from within houses and the lampposts on the streets. As we pass by the lamppost, I peek inside to see a small crystal shining brilliantly. Using the lights to guide us, we find the inn. I take a seat at one of the crude tables while Liana talks to the innkeeper behind the bar. There are a scattering of other patrons, mostly men who sit alone, nursing a tankard of what seem to be ale. Booze, basically. I stifle a yawn. Now that oh my gosh, it's the first time I've read this much for a game. I stifle a yawn now that I've had a chance to sit down. I feel a full weight of my fatigue. Luckily, Liana returns and hands me a key.
This is your room for the night. It's right next to mine.
Thanks. She nods.
They should be coming out with our dinner soon. Then we should get to sleep. We have an early start tomorrow.
My stomach grumbles in anticipation. Sorry. Liana smiles as she sits in the empty stool next to mine. Our meals arrive and I stare at the bowl before me. It's a goopy, thick stew and looks about as appetizing as dog food, but it smells pretty good. What is it?
Stew.
What kind of
Rabbit.
stew? A brave image of a cute, fluffy rabbit flashes across my eyes.
Is something wrong?
I'm not going vegan teacher for this. Nope, all good. Is there a normal stew? Not going there, so these two are out. Okay, I'm not going with either of these three options. I am not the vegan teacher, so... I'm all about trying new foods. Nothing's wrong. This is fine. This is fine, thanks. I take a tentative bite of my stew.
How is it?
This is even better than I expected. Liana grins as she digs in. Honestly, I feel like this is me in general. Honestly, I'll try anything once. I finish eating and Liana clears her bowl. Then the two of us head upstairs. She pauses in front of her room and I stop in front of mine. Good night.
Good night.
I'm about to enter my room when I hear a small voice.
Polly?
I completely forgot he was with us! Looking down, I see Pongo back at my feet. Now that I think about it, ever since we entered the village, he's been awfully silent. Have you been following us this whole time, or did you lose us and find us again? The Pongo blinked twice and bounces.
Boy. Pongos aren't exactly welcomed everywhere.
Aww. Aww. I'm keeping mine. I don't care. I'm keeping mine. I'm keeping him. He will be around until the end of this playthrough. What's that?
Well, they absorb the energy around them, including crystals which are used to light lampposts or other similar items.
Ah, I can see how that would be bad.
I think this guy knew to stay out of sight once we came in here.
What if someone sees him here?
As long as he doesn't stray too close to a crystal, he'll be fine. People only make a fuss when it looks like their crystal might be drained.
Got it. She reaches towards the Pongo.
Do you want to sleep with me tonight?
Boy.
The Pongo snuggles against my leg. Liana sighs.
I thought as much.
Aw, I'm sorry, Liana. She opens her door and flashes me one last
Sleep
smile.
well.
She disappears into her room. I open my door, step through. The Pongo perks up.
Boy.
I step away from the door and the Pongo hops in. As I close the door behind him, he continues to hop around my room as if expecting it. Yawning widely, I collapse onto my bed. The Pongo continues to circle the room. Are you looking for a good place to sleep?
Boy.
He suddenly leaps up and lands on my bed. He then bounces to the foot of my bed and wiggles himself around. Wiggles himself a cozy nest around by creating a small crater on top of the blanket. I can't help but grin at the little guy. Good night, Pongo.
Boy.
I roll over on the bed and it's not long before I fall asleep. If I wake up back in the library, I swear. If I wake up back in this frickin' library. A knock at my door jolts me awake. I sit straight up in my bed and barely notice a tiny yelps as the Pongo tumbles onto the floor. Hello? The knocking stops.
It's Liana. Are you about ready?
I rub my eyes and blink at the feeble rays of the lights outside. What time is it?
It's past dawn. We need to get a move on if we want to make a good time.
Are you serious? Little girl, are you serious? I don't want to do this right now. Dawn, there's no good reason anyone should be awake at this hour. As someone who has to wake up at like 4 in the morning almost every day, yeah, I agree with him. I attempt to lay back down in my bed when the knocking starts again. Alright, I'll be there in a minute. The noise stops, I yawn, I stretch, and notice that Pongo is on the floor. What are you doing on the floor, buddy? Weren't you sleeping on the bed? The Pongo wiggles and shoots me an accusatory look.
Boy.
I glance at the site indicating... indentation. Oh my gosh. Light indentation on my pillow, and back at the blue mass on the floor. Sorry, I didn't mean to knock you off. He looks cautiously at me and then hops on the bed up to my head.
Boy.
He nips at my hair and then jiggles. I guess that means he's forgiven me. I push myself onto my feet and begin getting dressed. Once I've grabbed all my things, I push open the door and nearly collide with Liana. Whoa!
Are you ready to go?
Yeah. Liana nods and then leads the way out of the inn. I follow her through the town. As we head north. It's a lot quieter than when we first arrived, as the town gradually begins to wake up. We don't run into many people on the street, although the shops aren't open yet. I can see the shopkeepers busy prepping for the day. Coolio. Right before we reach the edge of town, a guard spots us.
There's been heightened bandit activity reported on these roads.
Yana's brow creased.
Are the roads closed?
No, but until we get a handle on the bandit activity, we're advising everyone to stay in town.
We can't stay.
Where are you headed?
We're headed to Illumia.
The guards notice the sigil on Leona's manipulator.
You're a mage knight?
A mage knight? As the guard turns his focus to me, I draw attention to the blade on my hip. He nods gruffly, then moves out of the way.
Just be careful out there.
Thank you.
She motions for me to follow her.